When advertising backfires, artisans stop hiring humans story. Hello everyone, and welcome back. This week, we are looking at advertising, but not just advertising when it works. We are looking at what happens when a company gets attention in a way that creates controversy, backlash, and serious questions about judgment. Today's story is about Artisan, an AI startup in San Francisco. Artisan sells AI tools for sales teams, and its best-known product was an AI sales development representative named Ava. The company was founded by Jasper Carmichael Jack and Sam Stallings, and like many startups, Artisan was trying to break through a crowded market and get noticed fast. Artisan decided to do that with a bold and provocative ad campaign. Their slogan was simple: "Stop hiring humans." That phrase appeared on billboards and on signage tied to their broader marketing push. According to Artisan's own account, the campaign was intentionally designed to provoke emotion, stir conversation, and stand out in a marketplace full of generic AI messaging. The company openly said it wanted people to notice, react, and talk. From the company's perspective, this was not an accident. It was strategy. Artisan believed that a normal billboard would blend in and waste money, so instead of playing it safe, they chose a message that would be impossible to ignore. The company later said it wanted to create intrigue among potential customers, while also causing anger among the broader public. In other words, outrage was not a side effect, it was part of the plan. At first, the response was smaller than they expected. Reports suggest the early versions of the campaign did not immediately explode. But once the ads spread more broadly, especially through billboards, bus shelter placements, and social media discussion, the backlash grew quickly. The campaign spread across Reddit, X, and news coverage, and Artisan became widely known for a message many people viewed as anti-worker, arrogant, and dystopian. So why did people react so strongly? Because the slogan hit a nerve. At a time when many workers already feel anxious about automation, layoffs, and AI replacing jobs, "Stop hiring humans" sounded less like innovation and more like contempt. To many people, it suggested that workers were disposable. Others saw it as tone-deaf because it treated a very real fear, losing one's livelihood, as a punchline. And in a city like San Francisco, where tech culture, labor concerns, and economic inequality are all major public conversations, the campaign landed especially hard. There was also a deeper branding problem. Even if the company meant the campaign as satire or provocation, many viewers do not give brands the benefit of the doubt. They judge what they see, and what they saw was a company appearing to celebrate replacing people. That matters because advertising does more than attract attention. It tells customers, employees, investors, and the public what kind of company you are. And if your ad makes people think your company is cruel, dismissive, or disconnected from everyday concerns, that can become your brand whether you intended it or not. The consequences were significant. Artisan's campaign generated huge awareness. By the company's own telling, it led to massive impressions, heavy media attention, and major business growth. Artisan said the campaign helped drive thousands of booked meetings and more than $2 million in new ARR during its biggest months. Later reporting also noted that Artisan raised a $25 million Series A and continued gaining attention in the market. But that is only one side of the story. The backlash was intense. Reporting and the company's own statements described thousands of death threats and sustained anger online. The founders became known not just for their product, but for one of the most disliked AI ad campaigns in San Francisco. So yes, the campaign got attention, but it also created fear, hostility, and reputational baggage. And that is the central business question. If your company succeeds in getting attention, but also causes people to distrust or resent your company, was it really a success? That depends on what you value most: awareness, trust, long-term brand health, or immediate growth. I want you to pause the video here and think about this. If this were your company, what would you do next? Would you apologize? Would you double down? Would you defend the campaign as smart marketing? Would you change the messaging immediately? And most importantly, how would you protect your brand without losing momentum? Go ahead and stop the video for a moment and think it through. Welcome back. Now let's talk about what Artisan appears to have done to steady the ship. What is interesting here is that Artisan did not fully reverse course with a sweeping apology campaign, at least not in the public record I could verify. Instead, the company mostly reframed the message. Artisan later explained that it did not actually want people to stop hiring humans. The founder said the slogan was largely meant to get attention. He also said the company was actively hiring and argued that AI should automate the work humans do not enjoy, not eliminate human value altogether. In a later TechCrunch interview, he said the billboard message was mostly just for attention, and that human labor becomes more valuable when paired with AI tools. Artisan also acknowledged learning from the backlash. In its own write-up, the company said it would likely tone down future messaging to be more consistent with what it actually believed, rather than relying so heavily on clickbait-style provocation. That is an important point. They did not exactly say, "We were wrong," but they did signal that the level of backlash pushed them to reconsider how far they should go. So, did Artisan right the ship? Partly, but not in the traditional way. They did not completely retreat. They did not abandon the campaign's attention-grabbing identity. But they did move to clarify their position. They were still hiring humans. They did not literally want an anti-human workplace. And they wanted their product framed as automation of tedious work rather than a celebration of replacing people. So, what is the lesson here? Here is the moral of the story. Just because an ad gets people talking does not mean it is building the kind of brand you want. Shock can create awareness. Controversy can create clicks. Outrage can create reach. But none of those automatically create trust. And for a small business or startup, trust matters a lot. A new business often has limited money, limited time, and limited room for error. If your advertising makes your audience question your judgment, your values, or your respect for people, then even a successful campaign can come with a hidden cost. Another lesson is this: your message does not belong only to you once it enters the public. You may know what you meant, your team may know what you meant, but customers, workers, investors, and the public will respond to what they hear, what they feel, and what your message symbolizes in the real world. And one more lesson: if you use provocation, you had better be prepared to manage the consequences. Because once the backlash starts, you do not get to choose only the parts of attention that you like. So when you think about advertising strategy, do not ask only, how do we get noticed? Also ask, why would people remember us? What emotions are we creating? What does this say about our company? And if this goes viral for the wrong reasons, can we live with the result? That is where real entrepreneurial judgment begins. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next lesson.